I'm Brennan McCue,
I'm Jack Wilson.
and we research Roman board games.
Knucklebones or tie were originally created by the ancient Greeks, who made them out of knuckles from animals such as goats and sheep.
Each knucklebone held a different value inscribed on all four of its sides. Usually numbers were 1, 3, 4, and 6. If a player rolled 4 6s, 4s, or 3s, it was called vultures, and if a player rolled all 1s, it was called dogs, the lowest possible score. To get the best score, a player would have to roll a Venus, or otherwise known as a 6, 4, 3, and a 1.
Here are the extended scoring rules for tally. For example, if someone rolled 3 6s and a 1, they'll get a total score of 19 points.
The next game is tabula, which is a very well-known Roman game that would be referred to in today's world as backgammon. The word for the game, tabula, means table or board. It was called this because it was usually played on a special board.
Many Romans would bet on their games, causing tabula to become one of the most popular gambling games in the empire. Tabula was one of the main reasons why gambling became illegal in the Republic.
Although it was weakly enforced, if one was caught gambling under the Republic, they would be fined 4 times the stakes, unless it was during Saturnalia, in which they would not be fined at all.
Here are the rules for tabula.
The next game is Ludus Calculorum, which translates into English as the game of stones, and was played with a board and stones.
The game was played on a board, usually 8x8 or 12x8, because the smaller 8x8 board would usually end in a draw.
Calculi means stones or pebbles or counters in Latin. Stones were used for counting before the abacus was introduced, hence the word calculate.
Traditional rules for Ludus Calculorum. Black plays first.
First person to line up 5 stones in a row, orthogonally or diagonally, wins.
It is illegal to make a double open-end 3, unless one is forced to do so.
If the board becomes filled, the game is a draw. The Roman game Patia, aka Polius, Polis, City, Cities, Pessoi, or Pebbles, is played on boards of varying sizes with black and white stones initially lined up on opposite sides.
This military-style game that Plato called Patia, meaning pebbles, stones, or pawns, is sometimes called the polis or polis, which means city or cities, although these terms may have actually referred to the board itself or the spaces on the board. The objective is to capture or immobilize the opponent's stone by sandwiching them between 2 others.
Rules for Patia. Use either an 8x8 board or a 12x8 board.
Stones are lined up on the first line as shown on the board diagram, and black plays first.
Stones move as rooks in chess, orthogonally, horizontal, or vertical, but not diagonal. They cannot skip over other stones, i.e. as in checkers.
A single stone is captured when it is surrounded on 2 orthogonal sides. A stone in the corner can be captured when 2 stones are placed across the corner.
Multiple stones can be captured when surrounded on 2 orthogonal sides.
A stone can be played inside 2 enemy stones without being captured.
The outside walls cannot be used to capture men.
First player to kill all his opponent's stones wins.
A player can win by blocking up the enemy stones such that they cannot move. The next game is Latronculi. The name comes from the word latrones, which originally meant mercenaries, and which referred to soldiers in early Roman times, according to Varro. However, in later Roman times the term came to be used for highwaymen or robber soldiers, as they were known.
Latronculi is played with 2 types of pieces, a stone and an extra piece called a king, or a duke.
Boards varied in size. Some boards were 8x8, 8x7, or 9x10. Boards were made of wood, but some were made of stone, marble, or even silver.
Here's the rules for Latrin Cooley. Use a 12x8 board with the starting arrangement as shown above. Black plays first. All pieces may move any number of spaces in the horizontal or vertical direction. A single stone is captured if it's surrounded on two opposite sides. The outside wall cannot be used to capture men. A stone in the corner can be captured by two stones placed across the corner. Multiple stones can be captured along the line. The king or duke cannot be captured but can be immobilized by being surrounded on all four sides.
First player to immobilize the enemy king wins. The king is immobilized if it is blocked by an enemy stone such that it has no place left to move. If the game stalemates, the player with the most captured enemy stones wins. Sequences of plays that repeat endlessly must be prohibited. This is usually obvious to both players after two series of moves repeats. Any move initiating a third repeating series of moves is illegal. Players must announce when they squeeze a stone in between enemy stones to avoid any later dispute.